What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascend. Up on the screen, I have gold, the one-day price chart. Now, I don't own any, but I know a lot of people do. A lot of people probably got crushed in that move. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I would be playing this if I did have gold. So you had that massive drop. Obviously, it was a 3-day event, right? But if you look at gold on the macro time frame, it has exceeded its 4.236 extension going back to this range right here. So you pull it out and you look, we've already exceeded a 4.236. Now, I have other videos out that talk about how this has happened in the past. You look at gold in the 1970s and it did something similar where it blew past the 4.236, but then eventually ends up settling back down. So the fact that this has already exceeded that on its 15-year range is just giving me warning signs. I'm going to start right there. So as we zoom back in to the shorter time frame stuff, here's how I would be playing it. I look at this right now, and I know that the highest probability zone for a rollover is going to be up here between the 786 and the 618. So a lot of times what you'll end up seeing happening is you have your initial profit take. Price will make its way back up. People start getting comfortable again up here, but experienced traders, this is exactly where they're taking money off the table. In this situation, the other thing too is if you just kind of look at how we're moving, I'm going to connect as many of these tops as I can and as many of these bottoms as I can. I don't like that one. Let's do this. Kind of moving up in a channel like that, right? Well, what this is kind of forming, it's not an impulsive, it hasn't been an impulsive 5-wave move by any means. What it's kind of starting to look like is an A, a B, a C, a D. E gets us up there. Well, what happens after that E in this scenario is more downside. And so what you would be looking for then is this would be the start of one of two things, either the beginning of a 5-wave move down, something like that, or it could just be like an ABC. But either way, this right now would be the corrective leg before that next leg gets lower. So we look at this and we say, okay, the D hit, we're looking at an E. This is the weekly time frame. Do the oscillators match up, or the daily time frame? Do the oscillators match up? Well, yeah, they do. Right now, you have gold extremely oversold down here. Got a little bit of a bullish cross. Now, we want to see that thing work its way from low to high. We should see price appreciate into that moment, right? So it's not impossible that this 6,000 levels, going to hold. There's a good chance that this thing could keep going, right? We got to see how the market plays it. But looking at this from the daily time frame and, a wave count perspective, and then also where you're at within fibs, that's the level that would make sense. That's where I would start cutting stuff. Okay. In the event that it doesn't make it back up there, I would have a stop loss set. My stop loss would be right here at the bottom of this B wave. If gold broke down below 56, 46, 53, I'd cut it. Personally, that's what I would be doing. So for me, I'd be taking everything off the table between 5,100 and 5,350, and I'd have a stop loss set below that 46.53 in the event that this thing does start its descent. All right, that's how I would be playing it. And that's kind of what makes the most sense too. You look at the weekly, this thing is hot, right? That thing's up there, up in bullish territory. Like you'll start to see that come back down, and that could be after this gets up there, starts to roll. You start to see this roll over, and then we start to see crypto and some riskier assets end up taking some of that liquidity. Now, odds are it rolls into the stock market first, but you see the Russell 2000s doing really well overall. And we still have indices, both international markets and U.S. indices at new highs. Ton going on for the macro to make it look like we're going to have a nice little run there in crypto. So guys, if you enjoyed this type of analysis, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA. Link to that in my bio. If not, thank you so much for being here. If you guys could follow, like, repost, I want to get this out to as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next one.